What's happening, guys? Welcome back to Jared and James channel. I'm Jared Weiss. If you guys didn't know that, must be now subscribe to the channel so you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, be sure to leave a like, drop a comment, let me know your thoughts on this video, follow me on every platform. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure to check out my book, Fight Through by Jared Weiss. All the links to purchase it are on my website, which is jaredryanweiss.com. That's JAREDRYANWEISS.com. So, for today's podcast episode, I'm being joined by one of my longtime gym friends, Ben Ostad.
What's up,
guys?
What's
up the channel?
How you doing? Pleasure to be here. Excited.
Yes, sir. It's going to be awesome.
One of my first times being on a podcast.
Really?
First time.
Wait. So, is this actually the first time? Or have you ever done this before?
First time, but to me it doesn't feel like the first time just because I'm always on either Snapchat or I'm
talking to people.
Preaching to someone about something.
In person.
I like to talk a lot, maybe too much, so getting this opportunity
nothing
was
wrong with that.
Fun, exciting.
Of course. In today's episode, we're gonna be touching on spirituality, finding your true purpose, staying authentic, a world that tries to pull you away from your true self, and then we're probably also gonna be touching on overcoming adversity, we have all that and more in today's episodes. Without further ado, let's dive deeper now.
Give me a
So, first off, would you mind introducing yourself and telling people a little bit more about yourself and who you are and what you're all about?
Awesome, would love to. My name is Ben. I'm from Long Island, New York. I am 27. My passions are I love to work out. I love eating healthy.
Coconut water?
Yeah, exactly. He got me on the coconut water. I'm addicted. But most recently, I've been all about mental health, improving myself, and just realizing how powerful our mind is, and realizing that there's something greater going on than just what we see here and what we're being shown. There's a lot more power that we can tap into. And definitely dove into spirituality more, learning about me, finding out who I am. We all think we know who we really are. What are you? And I had to kind of pause and take a step back in my life. I had all these goals and things I wanted to do and things I want to get done. And then just learning more about me, I'm realizing the person who wanted those things and those desires wasn't really who I was.
So based on that, would you say it's actually normal for our purpose to actually change over different stages throughout our lives? Could the reason for that actually be because during one juncture in your life there were actually certain lessons you actually have to learn in order to guide you towards your ultimate purpose and deeper understanding of who you are.
Definitely. No, there's definitely, that's the beauty and weird part about life too, is that the things that we go through, the challenges that we face, the struggles that we have, the things that are in our way are really that opportunity. That opportunity to find out who you are. Going through those things.
Something so interesting. So several months ago, I had done this podcast with this guy Chance Garden, and he actually told me this very powerful quote, which actually was the obstacle is actually the way. So many of us in our lives, whenever any of us faces significant challenges, a lot of us actually tries to push them away more in there and avoid them, but when you actually dive into them, oftentimes what most of us actually realize is the obstacle is actually part of the path.
This is the way.
Once we're able to get through that, we'd be to see the light on the other side. But a lot of us view the obstacle as a detractor almost.
Exactly. We're kind of scared. We're afraid of the uncertainty, the unknown, just being in being in an uncomfortable place. I'm realizing even with myself, it's like for so long I'm learning about spirituality, learning about myself, been trying to reach these high goals, realizing how powerful we are, and like trying to set these high goals. And now, like even recently, I'm like, maybe a part of me, maybe I'm sabotaging myself. Like as much as I make it seem like I want all these big things, maybe there's a part of me that's afraid. Like there's some part of us that will do anything to stay in the known, stay in the certainty, even when it's not serving us. Like we like the comfortability, and as much as we want change, and like that's what our whole life is about and growing, it's like it can be
scary,
uncomfortable. Yeah, it's a scary process.
Change is definitely scary.
And it's like a part of us, as I said, like learning who we are. It's like almost like who we thought we are kind of has to die in a way. Like we kind of have to grieve who we thought we were, what we thought we wanted. But the beauty of that is that it did bring you to this place. Like the obstacles bring you to getting to know yourself better. So it's not like the past was
useless.
Like it's not like even though you didn't know who you were going the wrong way. Like that was bringing you closer to
that. And I'm like a perfect example of this, which I actually found in nature. Is actually if you think about how a caterpillar turns a butterfly. So while caterpillar is caterpillar, of course that time spent it wasn't useless, but during that time caterpillar is gaining nutrients, gaining experience, but then once time is actually right, the caterpillar blossoms into this butterfly.
Exactly. And I think we have to we kind of have to stay out of the way. Like that's why I think the spiritual side is so important, because if you think that you're the one driving the car, that you're in control of your whole life, it's going to be very difficult when things don't go your way.
Right. I had to learn that myself, especially when it came it's my whole life-threatening illness experience. So prior to that, I always thought I had control over everything. I mean I'm having said were there other parts to human health I wasn't aware of yet, of course, but having said I was always trying my best it's always eat right, go to the gym, once again get rid of a lot of other aspects of health I wasn't aware of yet, and but going through the hardest experience anyone can ever go through, and overcome that, survive, it calls me, show me that aspiring to be in control of everything is actually a useless goal, but a better goal is actually to come to this realization that I can actually overcome anything,
exactly.
So I'm not trying to avoid challenges, and not trying to avoid living life, but the ultimate goal should be to come to this powerful realization, in your mind, and we call it to say yourself, no matter what comes my way, I can handle it, I can overcome this.
I can do this.
I think you said that beautiful. I think after even just the first thing you overcome, it's you have faith, you're ready for the next thing. The next thing comes your way, you're kind of set, you know how to act, you know that even though you're not seeing, you can't see forward, you can't see clearly, you don't know what's going to happen, you do know that things do work out, there's an unfolding, and
right. Well, super powerful song lyric my career recently. So are you familiar with Andy Grammer?
Yeah.
So so something that seems really cool. So I'm gonna say like maybe it was like 2 months ago or something like that. So like I'm actually went to like one of his concerts. Like it was actually out here in like Patchogue. I'm like I'm actually got like called on to like, speak to him like in front of like everyone. It's like yeah, so it's like yeah, so like, that actually was like a super like, cool like, experience. Like I'm like him to be like such like a genuine like down to earth like person. Like even though like I'm like person, like, he seems to be like a really really cool guy.
I didn't know he's still performing.
Yeah, so he actually came out with like a new like album recently, and like on like one of the songs like was actually called "Not the End." Like he actually wrote the song for this one like cancer patient. Like I'm pretty sure, but like so anyways, like the powerful like lyric like I want to reference like is like he says like it's just a chapter in your story. Turn that page and grab that pen. Know that everything will be alright. And like if it's not alright, then like it's not the end.
Exactly. I love that. It's actually it reminds me of a quote goes something like you think you died, but actually you've been planted. Like what I've been seeing too is that when it's like when you see all these extremely talented people, you see all these people who came from nothing, and now it's kind of making more sense to me that they kind of had to hit the ground and until you're able, until there's nowhere else to look but up, it's finally, and sadly a lot of like as humans that's what we do, we kind of wait to be on the ground to finally stop looking at life so negatively, right? But it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't. We could grow in joy. We could grow in the good, but usually it does take something bad to happen for us to find a new perspective. Or
so like I'm curious. Like, have you like had like many like severe like adversity like type like experiences like that actually helped like give you this perspective like or and like did like actually just take like stepping back and sitting like alone like with your thoughts and like was it that like or is it like some like crucial like experience that, like changed like your whole like perspective?
I think. I don't know. I kind of was just like flowing through life, kind of very ignorant to everything, like not thinking deeply about anything or looking at anything in like such a way. Just like being a backseat of my own life going through and not even trying to improve it. Just like dealing with no crazy adversities, but like just like being maybe not the most confident or not the smartest and accepting it.
Right.
So after college, it was kind of a blessing. Like now I see it as a blessing, but there was someone in my life. There was someone that I was so interested in having them in my life and having a relationship with. But it wasn't working out, and it made me like sometimes you need
things,
and sometimes you need to want something so much to make you want to improve. Like you need something to push you out of your comfort zone to be like, how can I be better? And like I started realizing that it wasn't them, but it was me.
I invented it's not you, it's me. Nobody tells me it's them, not me. If it's anybody, it's me.
Like it brought me on this whole journey of learning about the law of attraction, learning about how we all are spiritual being. Yeah, we're all emitting a frequency. Everything is energy, and like it. You know, I'm looking back on everything, and I'm like, it all makes sense. You know, like I was coming from a place of lack, coming from a place of needing someone or something outside of me to validate me, and in that situation, in that position, it's like everything will run from me. Like everything, as long as I'm in a place of need and like not knowing my self-worth, it will be projected on the external world, and I will only be experiencing those situations that'll bring back to me those same feelings. So it's kind of like it's like a big responsibility to realize that I'm the one setting the tone. Whatever happens around me in my life, I'm responsible for in a way. It's not like I'm just I'm
a bystander.
yeah. It's like I'm not an observer of life anymore. I'm not just like reacting to every little thing anymore. It's now that things are happening, it's kind of like I'm questioning what I did to attract this certain situation.
It's powerful.
You know, it's like what do I need to learn?
Right, and my man, like, so something like my definitely want to like touch on, like, based on that, like, is like the importance, like having like accountability, like for like all of our like, actions. Another musical reference, like, are you familiar with like Jelly Roll?
Maybe.
Sounds familiar. It's like big time like country music star like over the past like few years like he's been like blowing up. Are you familiar with him right now?
No, maybe I guess not. I feel like the name is familiar.
Yeah,
but...
so like he happens to be like a super like deep like person. Like, I actually can't even like heard of him like until like this year. I started like watching like, a lot of because like podcast appearances and like I've also like started like listening to like a lot of like his music. I mean like so like he's someone like who came from like a super like flawed past and like so like growing up like he was in like jail like over like 40 times like I think and like he's also been like super like overweight. He was also like addicted to like drugs like for like long periods like of time. But like something like I find like very like, powerful like is like recently he was on like Jay Shetty's podcast. Yeah. So like on the podcast like he spoke about like this one like powerful like poem that like actually has like up like on like his mirror every day, which has to do with like the guy in the glass. The essence like the poem like is about like how like you can't actually fool like the person like looking back at you like in the mirror. Like he was saying like how like whenever like bad things like used to like happen to him like in his life like he used to always like look outward like and like he was always like searching for someone like to blame. Like now like what he does like he looks like in the mirror like maybe takes like a hard look at himself and like says so and like instead of like looking for someone to blame like now like he's actually looking at like how could I have like handled this better? Like what could I have like done differently like in the situation? Like
The Guy in the Glass. Have you ever read this poem?
No.
It's an incredible poem. I used to have it memorized, but I read it in jail and I hung it up on my jail mirror. And until about 2 years ago, it was on the mirror in my bedroom every day. The guy, it pretty much says that you can be king for a day and get pats on the back in life as you pass, but it's only heartache and tears if you fool the guy in the glass. That was the moment where now, if there's a triggering thing that happens in my life, the old mentality was, who did this? First thing I do now is I go straight to the mirror and go, what could Jason have done differently?
No, it's some deep stuff to own your shit.
Yeah.
Own everything.
It's not easy, like, especially because like a lot of like my own culture like, has been like centered on like having a victimhood like mentality and like looking for like someone like to blame. I mean like something like I also like say like is like so like oftentimes there's always gonna be like excuses that are like available like out there, like just because like there are like excuses there doesn't mean like we have to use them.
Usually we just justified as an excuse of why it happened. We're trying to find any excuse as to why it happened instead of
looking back at ourselves and like
that's
holding ourselves like accountable for our own actions.
It's a big responsibility to take, and a lot of us, there comes a certain time or a certain age where someone has lived so much life and life has shown them so much where it's like you want to tell them that they have a part in it. They don't want to hear this. Like this is not exactly the things they want to hear that they have responsibility for when already they have so much momentum going in a certain direction. You know, it's hard. It's hard to own sometimes that you were the one that created a certain situation in your life.
Right, but also like I'm having to like so like it's also like important like it's like recognizing like give people like the chance like to actually grow like and like it's like learn from their like mistakes just because like someone like in your life may have like wronged you like 20 years ago like chances are like that person was actually doing the best like based on like what like they knew like during that time like
it was an opportunity, but we take it. We might have taken that in the wrong way, and 20 years later you're still attracting. It's like kind of screaming at you. It's like not going to go away until you maybe react differently or look at it differently. But there's something that's keeping this going. There's something that's keeping this in my life, keeping me and experiencing it. And it's like, it also has to do with coming to a point where you've seen it so much in your life that you believe that this is just what you deserve and this is how it is. So
interesting.
And once a belief is created, it's kind of hard to, like, you're gonna see
shake that.
You're gonna see what you believe. Like
right.
Like, your world is gonna
so
prove
true.
your beliefs right.
It sounds like I'm so true. Like a lot of it comes back. It's like the power like behind like my words. Also, as far as I see, like words are actually spells. Like
We'd be
spelling. Curses. Cursive. As like I'm pretty sure. Like, Bruce Lee like once said like don't speak negatively like about yourself like even as like a joke like especially because like as soon as you put out like
we're absorbing everything. There's something inside of us, the subconscious mind, that's listening and accepting everything we say.
Yeah,
like it's taking in everything we say. We can't do that. It's gonna
reinforce it.
Yeah, it's gonna find a way to show us we can't do it. That's why you see all these people who are so invincible and have so much faith in themselves, and like when they've had impossible situations, and the biggest thing that got them there was their faith. I can do it.
Yeah,
once you have that belief, it's like your world is gonna show you that. Like you're gonna find a way. Like you're gonna see the way.
Right, and like speaking of it, so like my actually posted something like earlier today. Like I was like talking about like first off like I also like fully believe like your vibe like is actually gonna like attract your tribe, and also like in like addition like to that like you're actually always gonna get like what is like you're focusing on and like what is like you're actually searching for. So like for instance like let's just say like your goal like for the day like is like it's find like everything that's like wrong with the world, like so like chances are like you're gonna find that like
you're literally
setting
going on
intention.
ways, setting the navigation for that, and no matter where you go or who you see, like that's what you're radiating.
Right.
Out. That's what you're asking
It's
for.
so true. I mean, like on the like flip side of things, like especially based on the concept of like duality, like simultaneously, like, there's always gonna be like good and bad like happening like in the world. Like, there's gonna be good and bad like happening basically in like every situation. Like am I gonna like choose like to focus on like the good side of things, or are you gonna focus?
No, that's the trippy part. It gets a little trippy because you realize that everyone is experiencing the world differently.
It's
you know?
so true.
Like I even saw on Instagram today where like two different people looking at it be, and one is like in a positive mood and like thinking of honey and like grateful for the bee, and the other one's like thinking of death.
Scared, and
so it's like we all
That's
have this
so interesting.
we all have this certain filter on, like a lens on, that is affecting the way we see everything.
Yeah. That sounds so true and like so like powerful. Like I've actually also read this one like podcast like who like I often listen to Sam Tripoli. So he actually always says like when it comes like it's like faith and like religion and like spirituality, like as far as he says like he doesn't think anyone like is actually wrong. Like when it comes to all the like individual beliefs, like every person like is like he actually compares it like it's like everyone like seeing like the same like car crash. Like so like for instance like one guy seeing it like head on, like another person like seeing it like from 20 feet like to the right, like another person like seeing it from like 20 feet like to the left, like so every person like once again like is like experiencing things like through like their own lens.
Exactly. And that's, I think I'm realizing as you're saying this, it's like you kind of have no choice to be yourself and be who you want to be, because everyone has their own perception of you. You know, like you can't.
Right.
They're only seeing in you what's active in them. So
and
like
then
as long as you're authentic to you and you're true to yourself, that's really all. As you say, you attract your tribe. Like,
right.
as long as you could be genuine and be authentic with who you want to be and what you want to do, then that's gonna bring to you those right people.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you can't really care. You can't care about, like, if someone has something bad to say, like, you kind of know it has nothing to do with you. You know?
Right. Well, like, this actually must be like one of the most like powerful like lessons like I've actually learned like having like my own podcast and like having been on like social media like for the past like few years. Like, so, like initially like whenever I saw like when there's like nasty comments.
Hey, Gilmore, you suck.
Like I always like felt like it's like need like to like respond to that person. I meant like I was like initially like I always like took it like personally, but like after having done this like for the past like few years, like what like I've ultimately come to learn is that is it like if someone like is gonna like take the time out of the day like to leave,
no,
like
they're showing you exactly
who they are.
Exactly. I don't think any happy person or any
exactly.
confident person
is gonna
go criticize anybody,
right?
No matter what situation we're in or what we're going through,
right?
If anything, it'll be the total opposite.
Are you like also like, familiar like with like the quote like hurt people like we're gonna hurt people like and like heal people like have the power to like help people.
There's exactly like people will try to bring you down. And
misery loves company.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, like, how many times, like, are you actually going to say, like, I'm a happy person, like,
no, never. You're
trying
not
to like, bring someone else down, like,
exactly.
You wouldn't do that.
Exactly.
So, like, I want to like ask you like a question. Like, what do you think like are actually some like the hindrances, like the obstacles that people like these days like are actually facing, like to them like actually becoming like the most like authentic like expression of like of themselves. Like, so could it be like social media, like there's a constant comparison like others. Like, could it be victimhood culture? Like,
yeah,
what do you think?
It's a great question. I think there's a lot of factors. I would say that it could be very hard to find yourself when you're being watched or you're following people who don't know who they are.
Interesting.
When you've been, when you kind of care.
That's a good answer.
You know, like you're kind of trying to entertain or make even your parents, like you're trying to make your parents happy and you're trying to do things in a way that they'll be proud of you, but it's like you kind of have to realize that maybe they never found their authentic selves. Like they're only going with what they know, you know?
Right.
So yeah, especially in this world where the outside, like whoever's running this world or whatever's going on, like they're trying to find a way to keep us all separate, to keep us all divided, competition,
divide and conquer,
saying bad to each other.
Like the thing is, like, so like, as long as like we're like fighting with each other, like, come on, we never actually gonna be able.
You don't even exactly.
Yeah, like I mean, like also, like, we never actually gonna be like able like focus on like becoming like our best selves, like especially because like if like everything's all about like division, like and everything is about like pushing like more like hatred, like so like all that like it's all about like pushing fight or flight, like it's all like I'm gonna be keeping like the collective like consciousness and like and also like the collective like vibration like down, like so like if everyone's like focused on like all those like bad like emotions, like focused on like all like this like hate, like you're never gonna be able to like level up like
your
own vibration.
Yeah. And another hindrance would be just like, as you said, like the collective conscious, like we've been in fight or flight, like we've have our heart closed off. And from that point, it's like it's kind of hard to go in and see who you really are and what you really want. And another hindrance is like the ego and the things that you want that are keeping you in the way of finding out who you really are.
But like Do you think it's also possible to also use the ego for positive purposes too, so for instance the ego can actually drive us to achieve things another thing I'm heard some spiritual people out there who are all about ego death getting rid of
exactly.
ego.
No, I'm with you on that too. There's
time and place
it's more
for
the negative parts of the ego where it's coming from
materialism,
competition, and lack and all that, but the ego does have great parts to it too. And it has could take a lot of credit for the evolution of everything,
achievements.
Without you see all these you're right, you see all these spiritual people saying so many bad things about ego, and it's what am I we're in this material world, we're having this human experience. We came here. The ego, I listened to this girl on YouTube. She's really good, and she has a good perspective on it. Abraham Hicks, she says,
the ego, she's awesome.
The ego is our...
I read one of her books, I think, actually.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
She says the ego is an extension. It's the leading edge of who we are. And I think it's got such a bad rep because we...
Why does it have such a main bad rep?
It's
why do you think that is? Is it because some people actually use the ego it's solely satisfy their own needs as opposed to help others too?
We care so much about how what am I getting from this? What am I? How will I look? And I think that changed the whole realizing what the ego is trying to do is you kind of have to. It shifts your perspective on life. You go from a place of what am I? Even me, I was trying to find what my what's a good career for me. What do I want to do in this world? And I've realized owning my shit, I'm coming from a place of how I'd look, how I'd look to the world, how I'd feel, authority and power and control. And it's that's I'm only gonna get so far. So it's coming to a point of realizing that we have to come from a place of connection and giving. You see all these people who come up with these genius ideas, these extremely smart people that are coming up with solutions to help the world. They had it in them that they wanted to give something to the world.
Yes.
This, as long as we can...
It's actually looking to take something from others.
As long as we can be in that mode of giving, we are I've also started taking this Kabbalah class. It's ancient wisdom.
Interesting.
And it says that we have to be like the creator. The creator has everything.
That's awesome.
We're the givers. As long as we can be in that mode of giving, it's we're that vessel for God.
That's
or Source.
Awesome.
We're we're literally
so powerful.
We're telling Source that we're willing to team up with him to give to others. Because he is this energy, this Source, this God, this infinite intelligence is doing its best for all of us, no matter, even if someone's against God or doesn't believe in God, it's working for them. It's doing it's only good. It's only well-being. And what am I trying to say?
This is awesome though.
It's trying to do its best for us.
For us, to reach our own highest purpose, I think. Right?
Exactly. And I think that's everything that happens in life is trying to get us closer to
Right,
this.
and I'm like, so like, based on that, like my actually, like, sometimes like we almost have to be like thankful whenever like God, like the universe, like gives us like consequences like in our lives for like our actions, like especially because like so like as like I've said like on this podcast like numerous times like in the past, like so like I fully believe like so much like of like our lives like are actually based around like lessons and like blessings, and so like ultimately the more lessons like you're able like to like learn like absorb like the more blessings you're ultimately gonna receive.
Oh, yeah.
But like whenever like you're not actually like learning like lessons that like God wants you to like in order to, like it's like take like the next like leap and like to like level up like your own life, like God is actually gonna give you like consequences. Like like I actually feel like sometimes like we should be like thankful like for these consequences, like especially because like those consequences are actually like the guardrails like it's like keeping us like on like our path and like keeping us like on purpose.
100%. I think that you said that beautifully. Even if the consequence seems bad, it's like it's
out of love almost.
It's working out for you in a way that you can't see.
Yeah.
Like if you could continue to move forward, even if it's not working out, if you can have faith, then that same thing will do good for you. Because even when I got home from college for 4 years, I didn't have the best experience. I wasn't in love with the school.
Same here.
Like my whole experience. But once I got home, like I was just so grateful for it all.
Really?
Like, I was grateful. I looked back and I was grateful for the whole thing because I was able to grow and everything. And I think because of my perspective, that led me to grow. Like as I said, like I was setting the tone versus me looking back and saying, why did that happen? It was so bad. That would have taken me in a whole new, so I think our perspective on it is a big part.
Right. And also like one of my favorite like all time like quotes like is like coming from like Steve Jobs, like which actually is like you can't connect the dots looking forward, like you can only connect them looking backwards. Like so much like what like happens like in our lives whenever like we're actually going through it, like a lot of it like it isn't gonna like make sense to us. Like oftentimes like 5 years from now, like we're actually gonna look back and like we're actually gonna say to ourselves like, oh, like everything actually had to happen like this exact way in order for me like to get here and like on like my own purpose.
That makes sense to me.
Crazy. I know sometimes it doesn't take for us to get there to realize, but it's like it's always
you become like grateful like for like having like all those negative and like all those like positive like, experiences.
It's crazy.
Right. So like how would you like suggest like someone like who might be lost right now, like doesn't really know, like so like, let's say like someone like listening like have like any direction like with their lives, and like this person like struggling like to like find like purpose. So like how would you like recommend like someone actually goes about like finding their true purpose?
Wow, it's a deep question.
Yeah.
I'm on the same path as them, but I would say that finding your purpose, you kind of have to...
Wait, battery ran out.
You said finding your purpose.
Brief intermission for the battery change, as always. Alright, so like, now we're back. So like talking about like finding your purpose and like as like someone like who might be like lost and like lacking direction in their lives, what would be like some like good like positive like actionable like steps like that person can take like to like find their purpose?
I would say that. Well, I think we make it harder than it needs to be. Even me. Hopefully, I could go back and listen to this later and take some advice for myself. It's easier said than done, but it's like. We have already lived enough life, and life has already shown us so much that we could kind of look back and see maybe it was an area where we struggled with and we overcame it ourselves, or like if it was like something with health, like with me, I used to not eat so good and now like I'm eating a lot better and I see the value in that. Like me
Right.
learning about the mind and me not being so confident in learning that. I see the value in that. So it's almost like you kind of have to see
experience some life, in order to find like your
exactly
purpose in some ways.
see what brought you value in life, and like having the knowing that you could bring this out in the world and help someone else
Right.
with it.
It's also so well said. I mean, so I actually want to expand on this point. Are you familiar with Mike Posner? Also,
I just followed him on Instagram 2 days ago. I didn't know he was
his
like
account.
this.
Yeah, he's
He's all spiritual now, and
his account is unbelievable. That's
so far. I just followed him.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, I actually remembered all his super famous songs. I remember hearing "Cooler Than Me" and I took a pill in Ibiza and all that stuff. But then something happens to me. So this past year, all of a sudden his account it started getting recommended to me. So I started checking out his stuff, and he's posting all this incredibly spiritual stuff and all this deep stuff. So I actually went to tie in one of his messages spoke about recently, which actually has to do with so initially back when he first started playing music and stuff so his initial viewpoint was actually centered on using his fans in order to feel important, but oftentimes that actually left me feeling empty, especially because that was all about taking from others as opposed to giving them. But he ultimately realized recently whenever he's actually focused on being of service to his fans, being in service to God, and being in service to others, so he's actually always gonna be important that way, as opposed to needing external validation to make him important. If he's actually focused on helping others, and being in service,
That's huge.
He's always gonna be important that way. I think
we're very lucky at such a young age to see this stuff now.
Yeah,
we're realizing that we're seeing all these highly successful people who are now saying that it wasn't the answer. It wasn't
it's so true.
It wasn't
the fame,
fulfilling.
the money,
it's because that's what we're all after. We all want to be known. We all want to be popular and famous, and it's that's energy, that's me, and it leaves you feeling empty. Mm-hmm. That we think that's the answer, but it's wow.
Yeah, the answer isn't actually what can I get out of this, and what can I get from you, but the answer is actually what can I actually give to the situation, what can I actually give of myself, but it's important to first fill up your own cup, and first become strong, become healthy, especially because doing those things is never gonna be selfish. Doing those things is actually gonna help.
Exactly.
Is actually helping to bring your best self inside the world, bring your best self into others. But one of the most amazing things in life is actually once you actually fill up your own cup, the next step is actually to start giving away from that. But the other interesting thing of that is so for instance if you two candles, right? So if one candle has burnt out, one candle is still going, you can actually use that one candle to light up other candles, and
and it doesn't affect other flames.
Exactly.
It's an infinite. Once you got your own happiness down, you have infinite. If anything, giving will only
give love,
improve yours.
Right.
You will only gain from giving to others.
Right. Whereas on the other hand, focusing on worldly possessions, and focusing on how much money can I have, how much fame can I possibly gain, eventually those things are gonna run out, eventually those things are gonna stop providing you with ultimate pleasure.
It becomes it's like anything in life, it's temporary, and even at first you're wow, this is awesome, this car, this house,
right?
It all, whatever it is, you're gonna it's going to be like anything else. Like, it's going to be, you're always going to be looking for that next thing to keep that going. Like, you're always going to try to find something else, which is normal as humans to evolve and to grow and to want more. But if we're not enjoying the present moment and enjoying what we have currently and enjoying the way there, then it's like we're kind of robbing ourselves of the whole experience.
Right, like so like, something like I actually often say like is like there's nothing wrong with like striving like to make money. Like,
hello, I like money.
There's nothing wrong with like striving for like success. Like, and like nothing wrong with like striving like for like having like a lot of like viewers like on like in podcasts like something like that. But like having said that, like but like it's like important like, to remember like what's like our ultimate like intention like for like having that money. Like come on, like what's like my intention like for like having this like massive like following. So like are we just doing it like just like to like prove to others like that like we matter and like we're like awesome and like are we like just doing it like to satisfy like all our like egos, like on the other hand like are we just doing it like in like the hopes of like spreading like a positive message, like so for instance like having a big like platform could obviously be like super like helpful like to people, like on the other hand like it could also be like brain rot, like
exactly.
So like it's definitely important like to always like get back to like our like intentions and like making sure like our intentions are like pure like behind like why it is like that like we actually want like all those things.
100%. Your intention is huge.
Right.
It's really big. It changes like your whole paradigm on how you look at life. Like when you come from a place of what can I give, it kind of takes you in a whole new direction.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm also like I'm curious though, like I'm also like how would some like be like distinguish like between personal like desires like as opposed to like spiritual like guidance and like divine like guidance, like, especially because whether or not like you're someone like who believes in like God versus like the devil, like and like God versus like Satan, like like everyone like has to like acknowledge like there are always gonna be like all these like temptations like out there, like that's what you heard like before, like Satan like was gonna like try to like fill you up with like all these like worldly like pleasures and like so like it could literally be like a challenge like forcing people like to actually distinguish like between like actual like long lasting success like and like long lasting happiness like versus like temporary pleasures. Like how would you go about like distinguishing like between like divine guidance like as opposed to like satisfying like these like lower chakras and like lower like vibrational things like out in the world?
Wow, these are good questions.
Thank you.
I would say you kind of know, like, if you listen to your heart, if you could actually kind of quiet down the part of you that just wants to do everything for yourself. Wow, no, that's a good one.
Love it. Like I would also like add in like it actually comes from like trusting like more like intuition. Like a lot of people like have actually been like disconnected like from like their intuition. Like especially because like so much of our like society like is like always like busy like always like trying to like fill up like time and like and then like on top of that like everyone like was like preaching to us, and so like ultimately a lot of like our thoughts like aren't even like our own like anymore. So like, I would definitely suggest like
exactly
for like a lot of people to actually reconnect with like their own like intuition. I mean, like get back to like trusting like who they are and like understanding like who they are is actually an extension like of God.
Exactly. I love that, and I think I would say that like this, it's spiritual guidance when it's serving others, like you're giving to others with joy, you're giving in a way that that's it feels right.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, so something else like I was like always like refer back to like is like so much of like our realm like is actually based on like frequencies and like resonance. Like so like for instance like our Earth like actually runs on like the whole like Schumann resonance and but like it's also important like to remember that like love is always gonna be like the highest frequency. Like fear, like hate, like anger, like all those things are always gonna be like lower frequencies. So like if you can actually like reconnect like with like your own like intuition, like and like understand like vibration, like and all those things, all this like definitely know like on like in our like deeper level, like what is like brings us like more love and like more joy.
I'm Joy. We're good. It's all great.
And like what helps like others like like a lot of us like lose touch with that like as like time goes on, I think.
Yeah, I think that's another hindrance with like finding our purpose and who we are. It's like a lot of us are living life from the lower parts of us, just trying to survive, trying to get what I need. Like, this is mine, this is my pile, this is for me. Like, just trying to stay alive, and it's no one's to blame. It's nobody's fault. It's just that we've come, like, our ancestors maybe had a reason to act this way. Like, they were trying to survive, they're trying to live, they're trying to support their family, but now it's like we could kind of let that
relax.
go.
So something's like so interesting. Like, is like so many people like these days like operating at like a scarcity like mindset, like it was always gonna be in fight or flight, like as opposed to like an abundance mindset, like and actually realizing like this isn't even talking about like money and more worldly possessions, but like remembering like isn't like costing like, to be like nice to other people, like isn't like costing them
exactly. And
to compliment someone else.
The craziest part is like the people with the most worldly possessions or whatever know that that's why they have it, because they're not like looking up to it. It's not like they know that who they are is greater than all of this, you know. As long as we're looking up to all these things, it's like we're kind of saying like that's more valuable than me, versus first realizing that nothing is like who you are is priceless, and that everything else is extra. It's nice to have. It's good to have, but it's
like so it's definitely important, like for us, like to realize like having more like resources, like definitely can give you like better opportunities, like to benefit like more people. Like so, it's like once again, like there's nothing wrong with wanting money, like there's nothing wrong with like wanting like some like possessions like here and there. Like the main thing is just like asking ourselves like, why is it like we actually want that thing? Like, is it like totally for selfish reasons? Like,
exactly. No, that's awesome.
Or can like actually help others?
That's a good. I like that. I like how you see that.
So like, have you had like any spiritual like teachers, like on their hand, like would you say like life has been like your greatest like spiritual teacher?
I would say life with a mix of learning by reading books and watching videos. I love Abraham Hicks. I love Eckhart Tolle.
Eckhart Tolle's great. Like, if you've read him, the Power of Now, yeah. So I've actually read like 3 or 4 times now. It's amazing.
It's a little brain twisting to like realize that, and a part of us,
nothing like exists like outside like here and now.
Like a part of us, kind of doesn't want to hear. There's like, it's like the ego is so strong that it doesn't want to hear this stuff. Like it doesn't want you to know that you're complete, because otherwise, like what is its purpose?
That's interesting.
So as long as we feel empty and needing something outside of us to complete us, the ego does a good job. But like once you learn about this stuff, it couldn't you can kind of quiet it down.
That's really powerful.
Yeah, but I would say that a mix of life experience with learning this and like kind of looking back at life experience and seeing it in like a different perspective.
Right.
Seeing like why maybe I did things a certain way, or like why things unfolded.
So like based on that, like how would you like go about like helping someone like who's like lacking confidence right now, like who doesn't understand like how powerful like they are, like and also like how powerful like they are like to actually make like changes like in their lives. Like so, for instance, like who you are like right now, like who you are 1 year from now, it could be like two totally different people. So like how would you like go about like enhancing someone's like confidence levels, like in themselves, like helping them to like realize like how powerful like they actually are.
Wow, these are good questions. I would say
I work hard on these questions.
It's awesome. No, it's really good.
I'm
I would
prepared.
say to boost someone's confidence is to remind them who they really are, to remind them that they're not just a random person on this planet, like they came here with like no reason. You know, like they have their own purpose here, and no matter what they're going through or who they are, they have something to give. Like they have something special, they have something unique that no one else has,
right,
that can impact even as little as one other person, you know?
Yeah, well, like, so something like, actually, I'm always say, whenever it comes to ending my podcast episodes, like, I always say, like, even if, like, my episode, like only impacts, like, one person, like, but this, like, in a positive way, and then, like, as far as I see, like, I've actually done my job, like, especially because, like, impacting that one person positively, it could actually end up leading to, like, a whole chain reaction.
Exactly.
So like I'm helping that one person, like changing that person's day, and like impacting them like positively. So like that person like goes and tells like 4 other people like the same message, like or even sometimes like even like subconsciously, just by like putting out like that like positive like vibration, like or even just like smiling at someone, like so like you can actually change like someone's like whole lives, like or my whole like perspective, like just by like smiling at them. I'm like every day, like, more I'm complimenting them, or more I'm putting out like in podcast episode, and then, like that person like chances are is gonna like take like that same like message, and like they can like inspire like two other people that
That's
like
huge.
and then like those 2 people are gonna inspire 4 other people, like so like as far as this like there's no such thing as like a small like impact, like so like, you like have to have like 1 million like followers like in order like, to make like, a huge like impact, like all it takes is just like remembering like who we are, like remembering how positive, remembering how powerful like each of us is, and then I'm like starting by like raising like my own like vibration, and then sharing that like
you never know where it could take you. Even me, like I'm trying, I always like stop my like something inside of me wants to go, let's say, make an Instagram and like start sharing positive information, and it's always like some part of me is like, no, like how are you gonna
everyone's
look?
gonna judge
it's
you.
like and then the other day I was listening to this podcast, and he's like, the only reason you're scared of that is because it's about you. Like what am I, like when you're,
how am I gonna look?
Exactly. Like if you go on a podcast and you're telling everybody you got a free car, like you're not scared to do that, you know, like
but like on the flip side of things, like a lot of people like we actually be like super scared to go in like my main podcast and like open up to people, and like even like giving people like positive like advice, like you can actually be like so like scary, like, especially because you always start like thinking to yourselves, like, what if like everyone like from my hometown like sees this, and like everyone like laughs at me, like,
no, exactly. We have to
remove that.
Get over ourselves.
Yeah, and also like also comes down to like facing our fears like over and over again, like because the more times like we like prove to ourselves like we got over like that fear, and then like we can do it like again and again, like so. Like, the more times like we should prove that to ourselves, the easier it becomes like replicate that and do it again.
I think the hardest part is just
starting.
That's
starting.
For sure.
Yeah. Do you have any other closing thoughts you want to add to this episode? Also, do you have any future goals like you want to share on this episode?
Goals?
Yeah.
I'm hoping maybe to have my own podcast. You're
That'd be
inspiring
awesome.
me,
I'd love to hear
even
that.
from having this experience, I realized how much you can get out of a conversation.
Exactly.
How much you could even just from hearing you talk and hearing me talk, you realize new things. You know,
right.
It makes you see something you've heard 100 times in a different way.
Right, something else, something so interesting. I've always found them it's by having powerful conversations with others, actually learning a lot about yourself. Matt also something else I've also discovered is having the whole podcasting format actually helps to actually bring about the most genuine conversations, especially because so as crazy as it sounds, I'm having the camera, I'm having the microphones, having all this pressure, all this pressure, even though I was trying my best to make whatever guests I have on not feel under the pressure.
I honestly, I could tell you, I feel extremely comfortable. It's almost like one of our talks when I run into at the gym, just going back
flowing.
and forth. Yeah,
right.
It feels very natural, and I thought maybe this would have some effect on it, or maybe I would blank out just from having a little pressure on me. But it was it was natural.
Yeah. So it's always been my biggest goal when it comes to having this podcast, because making sure every conversation is genuine, and I don't want any of it to feel staged, and I don't want any of it to feel inauthentic. Especially because whenever I'm doing any of these episodes, I always find my action saying things I wasn't even thinking about beforehand. So as a result, all the most genuine expressions end emerging as a result of this format.
That's what I said. That's why I said I'm gonna go back and listen to what I said and try to take some advice. I'm even realizing
exactly
today. I was thinking to myself, I was because I do try to help other people and give them advice. So I'm what if I listen to that advice myself? What if that's for me?
So true.
What if it's not only for them, but clearly I need to, because it's easier to help someone else or to tell someone to do something, but it's
so true.
How do I expect them to take that advice when I'm not?
If I'm not actually,
I'm not embodying that myself. Yeah.
It's really powerful.
But it was really a pleasure being here. I hope
pleasure having you on.
We do it again.
Yeah, for sure. So come on, you're always welcome to come back on anytime.
Thank you. I feel home. Feel at home.
I love that. So come on, do you want to tell everyone where they can follow you?
Instagram is Ben Ostad, BenOstad, and that's where you can find me. On Instagram.
Awesome. So
throw me a follow if you want to throw me a message. You have a question, you have advice to give me, you just want to say what's up. I'm open for it all. Would love to hear from you.
Love to hear that. So I can thank you so much for coming on once again. This was awesome, super powerful conversation. I think this conversation is the power to help so many people.
Awesome. That makes my day.
As I was saying, even if this episode helps just one person, and as far as I see it, we've done our job here.
I love that.
So anyways, I
want to share that we're all in this together, no matter where you are, what you're experiencing. Try to do your best to look at the positive, and you will soon see life in a more beautiful way.
Love that.
And wishing everyone only the best, sending everyone love, and just really, I think this is the way to grow and find purpose and build confidence, is to go the spiritual way, or energy, or however you want to call it, like learning the laws of the universe, like learning why things do happen the way they happen, and it'll help you find clarity in the confusion.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so like, anyways, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to follow Ben. Drop a comment, leave a like, and any support is always gonna be much appreciated. So like, anyways, I will catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.